To think in terms also includes, for example, office productivity, remote work, and so on. And they begin to think in terms of cost savings and efficiencies. And these two stages are really, in my mind, a reactive approach to sustainability. The biggest difficulty is going from stage 2 to stage 3, where they view sustainability as a proactive means to actually improve their business performance, business growth. And that's stage 3. Stage 3, they begin to produce sustainable products and services. And that's a big change from stage 2. Stage 4, and there are, many of the leading companies are now at stage 3, Procter & Gamble, GE, Clorox, and so on. All at stage 3, good sustainable products and services. But there's an even bigger shift that takes place when you go from stage 3 to stage 4, which is new business models. We're really reconceptualizing the role of sustainability in the way you do business. And very few companies are at that stage. I think Cisco is making some moves in that area, and some other companies. Walmart to some extent is moving to stage 4. GE also trying to move to stage 4 with the imagination. The biggest difficulty then is moving from stage 4 to stage 5, where you're actually thinking in terms of sustainability as a platform for next practices. So it's no longer new business models in one industry. You're making changes that cut across multiple industries. And so the work that we do is very much, it's a mindsets kind of work, enabling executives and managers to rethink sustainability as the key driver of innovation in each of these stages. So going from reactive to proactive to new ways of thinking in terms of business models to creating these new platforms. And then we have approaches in terms of strategy, where sustainability now becomes part of the basic competitive advantage model that they have in terms of driving the business advantage, driving the business leadership that they have in this area. So there we tie in with traditional theories and strategy. So I see this challenge very much as mindsets, and that's a difficult one, and strategy. If I have the time, let me just give you a quick example of mindsets. This is a story told to me by an Air Force colonel about 15, 20 years ago, 17 years ago, when business process reengineering was the big wave. And many of you may remember that. Michael Hammer's, in the 90s. BPI was the big thing, as big as sustainability is now. And I was involved in some of these projects with the Air Force. So this could be an apocryphal story. And this is a colonel telling me about the Army. So, they may not be true. But, so here's the story. He's asking me, typical Army unit, when you fire, the artillery unit. So there's a guy who fires the shell. There's a person near to sort of load the shell. And there's a third person to make sure everything's going well. There's a fourth guy in the back who's standing like this. He's in like this. What do you think he's doing that? I mean, watch this fourth person standing there with his hand held up like this. And I had no clue. So the colonel tells me that this goes back to Civil War times when this was a cavalry unit. This guy's role was to hold the horse, bolting. And that tradition is continued. Again, I'm not sure how true this is. But that's the kind of mindset thing I'm talking about. All ways of doing business, think of it that way, sustainability, good for business. That's why it goes back to Rob's point. I think the key thinking now in enterprises is, not only is it good for the environment, but it's actually good for business. That's the change. And here are the ways in which it's good for business, stages 3, 4, 5. That's the big change, I think, that's taking place now in some of these emerging enterprises.
Very good, Rob. Thank you. Will, I'm going to throw this at you.